Good day, everyone. Welcome to Dear Western, this week's question. This week's question is, a client moved out of state. Her daughter and two roommates moved into her home. Sometimes she didn't receive rent from the daughter, but always from the roommates. Is the FRV the total amount received for the year received? And then if I compare the rent received to other homes for rent in the area, would that determine if it was under the FRV? If it was under FRV, would it be hobby income? All right, let's first break this down. Let's discuss FRV, which is fair rental value. Fair rental value is always based on facts and circumstances. Fair rental value is generally the amount of rent that a person who is not, and I repeat, not a related party to the taxpayer would be willing to pay. Hence, the comparable rentals in the area that the home is located. Now, first we have to take a look. What is a related party? Related party is described under Code Section 267. Hence, her daughter would be a related party under this code section. So how do we establish fair rental value? Well, we analyze the comparable properties in your area. Is it used for the same purpose? Is it approximately the same size, same condition, same location? What is the fair rent in the neighborhood? In other words, we got to do our research. In other words, in easy terms, rents charged for other properties similar to your property in that direct area. And of course, rent would not be fair rental value if substantially less than the rents charged for other properties that are similar, again, to that property in that area. Just remember, similar property area, kind of all in the same. So it is permissible to charge a relative somewhat a lower rent under what is commonly called the good tenant clause. Now, a 10% reduction is usually allowed without much questioning from the IRS. I've seen it as high as 20%, but I wouldn't recommend that. I think 10% is a good discount. Once you determine the fair rental value, then you can discount it by 10%, and that still would be considered fair rental value even when renting to a related party. Also, ensure that you have a valid lease. Another question I get in regards to this particular topic is, well, can we just impute the gift or can we just gift it? I don't recommend subsidizing the rent through gifts. The IRS can always then go in and reduce the fair rental value by the gift amount. And once again, then we're underneath the fair rental value. And also, there would be a possibility of gift tax returns that would need to be filed if you're over the threshold. So, next part of the question for this week was about the entire year. So you must look at the rent received for the entire year when considering fair rental value. Just because the daughter pays, let's say, 3 months at full rate and then 9 months at under or no rent, you would take an average and look at the entire 12 months of time the daughter is living in the home. All right, let's move on to the next part of the question about hobby income, or what if the rent received is less than the fair rental value? How is rental? So the question then becomes, how is rental property rented to a related party for less than fair rental value treated? Well, it's treated as a hobby or technically an activity not engaged for profit. You report the gross rent on Form 1040, Schedule 1, Line 8J. Furthermore, no expenses would be allowed if the daughter was renting the property all by herself. Okay? Rental use by daughter is considered personal use by the owner of the property, and this is why it is not treated as regular rental income and has to be reported as hobby income. So, but on the flip side, right, on the flip side, how is rental property rented to a related party for fair rental value or even a 10% discount treated when related party actually occupies said residence? Well, then if that is the case, then the rental property is treated like a normal rental property with all the subject to the passive loss limitations. So if the daughter lives there, if she's paying a fair rental value, even if discounted, it's a regular rent. If she lives there and it is far less than the fair rental value, it's considered hobby. 100% of the income is reported as hobby income and no expenses are allowed. Just a quick side note is a fair rental value paid by a family member, it still counts as personal use of the owner unless, of course, the daughter or the related party lives there as the primary residence of the family member. So we have to ensure, I think this comes up more than we know, so we have to ensure to ask our clients all the necessary questions so we can properly report this information on the tax return. I always say this, I do a lot of representation, great facts equals a great case. We have to do our homework, but most importantly, we do our homework now versus later. All these rules and related party is under 267. The other part you can look under Code Section 280 Cap A, and the regulations they're under 280 Cap A. So I do have a 2-hour CPE class called Rental Properties with a deep dive into short-term rentals that discusses this particular question and other items in detail. So if you wish to know more about that, you can head over to Western CPE and check out that class. And more importantly, there's many great classes on Western CPE. So please check them all out. And until next time, hope everybody has a wonderful day. I'm out.